Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you've probably noticed that the Pittsburgh Steelers are making a lot of noise. It's not just about signing a big-name quarterback, which, let's be honest, is a bold move in itself. They've gone all in for the 2025 season, and the moves they've made are nothing short of aggressive. We're talking about a team that is clearly aiming for the Super Bowl, no doubt about it. They've committed resources, they've made strategic trades, and they're positioning themselves as a serious contender in the AFC. But the thing is, they might just be missing one crucial piece that could elevate them from playoff hopefuls to genuine Super Bowl favorites. And that's where the rumors and the potential last-minute trade come into play. First, let's talk about what the Steelers have already done to set themselves up for a successful season. They signed Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback with a Hall of Fame resume, to a one-year deal, signaling their desire to compete now, not later. Rodgers, despite being 40-plus, still has that magic arm and football IQ that can lead any team deep into the playoffs if everything clicks. And get this, they didn't stop there. They extended their star edge rusher, T.J. Watt, on a massive new contract. Watt isn't just a pass rusher, he's the heartbeat of their defense, the kind of player who can change the complexion of a game with a single play. Keeping him in Pittsburgh long-term was crucial, and it shows the commitment the Steelers are making to build around their core. But perhaps the most impressive moves involve their trades. The Steelers managed to bring in DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, a wide receiver with game-breaking speed and size. Metcalf is a deep threat, a player who can stretch defenses and open up the field for everyone else. On top of that, they bolstered their secondary with Jalen Ramsey, a veteran cornerback who's known for his shutdown ability and leadership. With these moves, Pittsburgh now boasts talent on both sides of the ball, an offense that can strike quickly and a defense that can clamp down on opponents. And yet, despite all this talent, many fans and analysts feel the team still lacks that explosive element that can turn a good season into a championship run. And that's where the idea of making one last trade before Week 1 of the 2025 season comes into focus. The question is, what do they need? What's the missing piece that could push this team over the edge? Well, if you look at their roster, a common theme emerges: speed at the wide receiver position. Sure, Metcalf brings a lot of that, but the Steelers could use someone even faster, someone who can create mismatches and take the top off defenses on a consistent basis. And who better to talk about in that context than Tyreek Hill? Now, Hill is getting up there in age, but he's still one of the fastest players in the NFL, a true home run hitter. In the 2024 season, even with all the chaos around him, Hill managed to haul in 81 receptions for nearly 960 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's production that any team would love to have. Imagine him in the Steelers' offense, lining up opposite Metcalf or even working out of the slot. His speed would force defenses to stay honest, opening up running lanes for Najee Harris and other playmakers. Plus, with Rodgers distributing the ball, the potential for explosive plays is sky-high. Now here's the interesting part. There are whispers, and I mean whispers, about Hill potentially being available for a trade. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported that some teams are monitoring his situation. It's not just idle chatter. It's coming from sources who say the Dolphins have been hesitant to trade him, but are also cautious about holding onto a player who might be on the move. Hill has missed some practice time with an undisclosed injury, which has fueled speculation that Miami might be open to offers. And honestly, if the Steelers make the right offer, this could be the last piece they need to truly upgrade their offense. Think about it. From a resources perspective, Pittsburgh is in a pretty good spot. They've got cap space, enough to make a significant move. If they acquire Hill now and don't even touch his contract, they'd still be around $4 million under the cap. Sure, that might complicate things a bit for next season, but right now it's manageable. Plus, with the 2026 NFL Draft approaching, the Steelers are expected to have 12 draft selections, including some compensatory picks. This gives them a lot of flexibility to include draft capital in any trade negotiations, making a deal for Hill not just possible but highly plausible. And let's not forget, the Steelers are in a unique position with their draft resources. They could afford to give up some mid- or late-round picks if it means landing a game-changing talent like Hill. It's a calculated risk, but one that could pay dividends. They have the cap space, the draft capital, and the motivation to go all in. The question is whether Miami is willing to part with Hill, especially so close to the season. Miami's secondary has been decimated by injuries, and losing Hill would be a blow to their offense, which relies heavily on Tua Tagovailoa's arm and Hill's speed. Now some might say, well, the Dolphins wouldn't trade Hill now, would they? That's the million-dollar question. Typically, teams don't trade away their star receivers right before the season starts unless they're getting a massive return or facing some internal issues. But with the way the Dolphins' secondary has been struggling, and with Hill's injury concerns, there's a real chance they might consider it if the right offer comes along. And if the Steelers step up with a compelling package, it could be enough to sway the Dolphins. Think about what that would mean for the Steelers. Pairing Hill's blazing speed with Metcalf's physicality, all orchestrated by Rodgers, creates a lethal combination that defenses would struggle to contain. It's the kind of move that can transform a good team into a true contender. It's not just about adding a star receiver, it's about changing the entire offensive dynamic, making the Steelers' attack more explosive and unpredictable. That's the kind of upgrade that can make the difference in tight playoff games and in the quest for that elusive Super Bowl trophy. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the Dolphins are willing to deal and whether the Steelers are willing to pay the price. But from a strategic standpoint, Pittsburgh should absolutely be considering this move. They have the resources, the draft capital, and the motivation. They've already made bold moves, and acquiring Hill could be the final piece that seals their fate as serious contenders in 2025. It's a move that would excite fans, energize the locker room, and send a message across the league that the Steelers are not just in the game, they're here to win it all. So, as we look ahead to the upcoming season, keep an eye on this potential deal. Because if it happens, it could redefine what the Steelers are capable of doing. And honestly, for us fans, that's what makes this offseason so thrilling. The possibility of adding a player like Hill at this stage of the game could be the difference between a nice playoff run and a legitimate shot at the Lombardi Trophy. The Steelers are positioning themselves for greatness, and that last-minute trade could be the key to unlocking their full potential in 2025. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you think the Steelers should pull the trigger on a trade for Tyreek Hill? Would he be the missing piece that takes this team to the next level? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and all the latest news to keep you in the loop. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the Steelers' spirit alive as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting 2025 NFL season.